Hey, good morning. Good morning. Well, is it morning? Yes, still morning. Good morning, Miss Nikki Alexandria. How you doing today, young lady?
I'm doing fantabulous. How are you, Mr. Jason L. Scott the first?
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, for everybody who's new to this, let them know what they're listening to right now. Let them know what the show is, what the premise is, and who they are listening to at the moment, young lady.
Well, the show is Nikki and Jason's Road to 1 million. Okay. So, Road to 1 million can include a million of anything. We are trying to reach a million people. Okay. Change a million lives. And it could be in different areas, whether it is a million people growing in personal development, a million people where we find a million destinations. Whatever that road to 1 million is for you, this is what we're doing. But our road to 1 million is to inspire 1 million people around the world. So this is what the show is about. And I'm super, super, super excited as always, because we never know where these conversations are going to take us.
Well, I'm smiling because as you're saying, you're like, what's this destination? I'm like, hmm, maybe we should do a million destinations. You know what I'm saying? Which would cost us $10 million
Oh,
damn
yeah.
dollars to be able to do it. But it's still in the process of because you already know some of these podcasts will be done in location destinations and things like that. Because we already
Mm-hmm.
but that'd be an amazing thing to do as well to kind of just pick topics, destinations, and things like that to kind of, or even if we find people from different destinations to kind of have some conversation.
Yes.
Let's just kind of, or people who have traveled to many destinations and just
Mm-hmm.
so that'd be good. So if you guys have traveled to some places that you want to have some discussions about, make sure that you comment, reach out. We would love to have you on the podcast and talk about some destination that you may have found, some destination that may have been inspiring, some that may have put you into a state of anxiety. Just whatever stories that you feel will be interesting to other people, whether it's a story that can inspire people or a story that's true life that people should be
Mm-hmm.
aware of some of these destinations and whether it's just your opinions or whether it's facts that's backed up on it. But just let us know in that process and stuff. But also, Nikki, I know speaking of destination, you have an event that you have coming up in the Detroit area as well. Is it not right?
Yes, I do. I have an event coming up actually tomorrow, which is October the 25th in Southfield, Michigan. This is definitely in alignment with my road to 1 million. Okay. 1 million lives change, 1 million people. It is a networking event. We are going to be going over how people can get started with affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is a great way for the average person to tap into becoming an entrepreneur and building a legacy, creating a legacy for themselves and for their family, earning some additional income, earning a lot of income. It really just depends on the person. So we're going to be having that event tomorrow in Southfield, Michigan. I'm super excited because I've only been back in Detroit 2 years now. Okay, so I get to meet some successful people in Detroit, network with some different people. So yeah, it's going to be a really, really exciting event. Very, very empowering event. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, indeed. Well, you know, being in network marketing for a lot of years, I remember back in the days when people started talking about affiliate marketing. Like there's a company where I was a top distributor as a network marketer,
Hmm.
and being a top distributor there, the company, some of these companies you may get involved with a company at the right time and right place. They cross a barrier that I like to consider financial barriers. A lot of things have to come together in order for, just like in traditional businesses, for a company to make the jump. And I remember when the company didn't make the jump and they had been involved in business for a few years, and when they was about to go out of business, the CEO
Hmm.
decided he wanted to try to turn everybody into affiliate marketers. Now, at the time, affiliate marketers wasn't the thing. Affiliate marketing,
Hmm.
and because social media was still new, people wasn't
Hmm.
able to use social media. People was doing like e-zines and things like that and stuff, and that was a topic at the time. And I don't know if you know what e-zines are. E-zines are those you see them still. It may be like a one-page website that's a long website that they be doing where you put a bunch of stuff in there. So e-zines was a big thing that was there. But when he was talking about affiliate marketing, I was like, I don't want to do no affiliate marketing because you was limited on
Hmm.
how many people you can get paid on. And I'm saying, but when you think about the way we are now with the road to 1 million, a million people having a chance to earn some additional income, affiliate marketing is different. You can find a bunch of people and help them still learn skill sets. Because back
Mm-hmm.
then we would find people slow. It may take you, and you may go out and we would tell people to network and find people to introduce to the business, and you may sponsor one or two people. Like back then, it was a miracle for a person to say they sponsor 100 people. Now a person
Mm-hmm.
100 people in a week.
Yeah.
But affiliate marketing is different than it is today than back in those days. Because back then, I'm like, I got to get all these. I don't want to be train all these people. I'm not gonna make no money because for me,
Mm-hmm.
I understood time leveraging. I want to leverage my time. You know what I'm saying, by teaching people the skill sets that I learned, so that for them to make money, I make money in return. Which is the same thing as the job. You show them how to perform their job, and in return, the company makes money, they make money, and everybody's happy. All right. But
Right.
marketing now that has evolved, it's a big way for people to really, people to earn some extra income, and people can really get wealthy at it. They've been getting wealthy at it, but I
Oh
believe
yeah.
now today's date, man, they can do it even stronger, even faster.
Absolutely. I was thinking about this last night, right? I was thinking about, the industry that we're in, network marketing. And this is like a multi-billion dollar a year industry, right? And I was looking at some statistics, and I looked up, the number, the percentage of African Americans that are in this industry, and it was like under 10%. Okay. Um, and I thought that was a very, very, very interesting, because it's almost like we're always behind when it comes to so many things. We're always the lowest on the totem pole when it comes to our nutrition, when it comes to certain educational practices. It's like we have to fight and do so much more to get some of the same things right here in America. Okay. And I thought about, I said, this is a multi-billion dollar a year industry. We don't make up 10%. It was under 10% of the industry. And we're talking about an industry that so many other ethnicities have tapped into. What do you think it is about us when it comes to financial advancement, and why we look at this industry as, the plague? Okay, like it's something that we cannot take advantage of. There's so many more of our people that really still are like, that's a scam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, me myself, I believe, like, it's funny. It's funny how, like I said, when we have, our podcast, we talked about it earlier, different ways how people can have podcasts. Sometimes you do interviews, of course, which you do. Sometimes you may be scripted, or you may freestyle like we do, but freestyle
Mm-hmm.
allow us to just kind of talk about certain things that showed up, right? And I was literally just watching something or reading something um, right before this podcast, and as I was
Mm-hmm.
reading it, it was talking about those same types of things. It was really talking about like and again, I told you yesterday about something Denzel said, but Denzel was doing something. He was talking about something else, and somebody was
Mm-hmm.
asking him a question, and it was like, so what do you think about saying the state of something? It was really talking about the people and the situations and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like we talking right now with about the system. They talk about the system, and he
Mm-hmm.
like starts with the family, starts in house, starts in the house. You know what I'm saying, take care of the in house, and then everything else, because by the time he was talking about like things that's happening to the kids, like adults when they get to a certain age, they go into jail and things like that. But he like starts in house. He said
Oh,
they're not. He
excuse
said
me.
no worry. He said they're not arresting like 7 and 8 year olds. He said so at 7 and 8, you should still be getting information from your mom and your dad. So by the time
Mm-hmm.
you get into the system, you should have another way of how you show up. And I believe for a lot of us, that's my opinion on it and stuff, man, is because a lot of us we don't really talk about money in the same capacity that they may talk about money. We don't see it in the same capacity.
Right.
We normally look at it from a hustler standpoint, or because we was traditionally our parents always out trying to get it, and there wasn't really nobody trying to be like a nanny and all this other stuff. So you were just left to either watch TV or just go out and hang around and figure things out. If your mother trying to figure things out, or she tell you to go back when we were kids, outside was the thing, just being outside. And now even
Mm-hmm.
the inside, they could see so much more than we used to be outside so we could see stuff, but we would still see what was limited on the block. Now you
Right.
can be on the inside and they can still see stuff, but they unlimited. There's so many things they can see, so many variables. of life situations, people, things that they can see, so they still can be influenced. But I still feel that no matter whether how they gain these levels of influence, it still starts with the parent, the
In-house,
family,
yeah.
the person, myself, like myself. When I was hearing him saying, I'm like, hmm. I said, even for myself, I said, I know I'm always helping everybody else, everybody else's family. And I'll talk about my kids and I'll talk about my grandkids too. And I do some things, but I'm like, there's times that I can do more. I can
Mm-hmm.
do more. I like my son, he was texting me over the weekend, or we got a chance to go out to one of my grandson's games, and my son was texting me. He's like, hey dad, I love you. He said, even though I know our communication is not strong, just know I love you. And I was like, I said, that's a testament to me, not you. I said, no, I love you the same. Everything is strong. I said,
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm an introverted person. I said, but funny thing is, everybody knows that. But everybody else, I'm so much more extroverted talking to everybody else, that in your mindset you feel that I may not have the communication with you. I said, but I said, until it's time for me to have a deep level of conversation, then I'm all into this space to where you guys, when you guys need me, I'm able to give you all these things. That's why they love me, because they like, I can get really deep. But that's when it's time for me to get deep. But surface stuff, I'd be like, they sitting around, I'm sitting around, I ain't saying nothing. They come in, hey, Dom, hey. Then I'm back
Mm-hmm.
to doing something else until it's time for me to get deep in my process. So that that same thing, it tells me that, like, I don't always have to be as deep, even to start the conversations, the right conversations, and stay in the vein of conversations of education. Yeah, they see me getting busy, they see me talking and doing a bunch of stuff. They inspired by that right there. But after that right there, the personal conversations are not strong enough. They're not. I'm not having the right personal conversation. That's me. Just that's what I was thinking to myself. Again, like I said, somebody else may say something, but you can't talk for me. Nobody can't talk for me. For me, it's that's me analyzing myself based off of just that one thing. When Denzel was saying it, I'm like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, I said, I'm helping everybody else, helping all these other families. And I've helped thousands upon thousands of families, and I've helped my family as well. But my own personal communication, you know what I'm saying, is not the same. And he was like, yeah, because I'm an introvert too. And I'm like, but he hasn't always been that way. He can still be outgoing. He's like me. He can be a comedic, giddy, have fun, joke all the time. But when we get around each other a lot of times, I guess because they don't even know what I'm thinking, they don't know how I'm feeling. Because I'd be like, and I told you, like, I see y'all later. Hey, how y'all doing? Love everybody. Then I'm off in the room. Get out the
Mm-hmm.
introvert side of me. Then I come back outside, play some games, a little bit, joke, and go back. Oh, we all sitting around, we laughing, giggling. Down through, I'll be like, then I disappear. You got me and stuff, because I'm saying so everything that I'm saying, man, even whether, no matter how I look at it, I'm like, I gotta be able to have a system, because without systems of making sure that you apply a system of education or conversation, you got me? Because it got to at least be a system of conversation so that they can be aware financially of certain things. Because we don't make it a system. We kind of talk about it. What you should do and what you could do and but we ain't don't learn it ourselves. I'm gonna make a sense.
Mm-hmm.
That, that's
Mm-hmm.
that, that's my own. That's how I'm looking at it as we having this conversation, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, the same way I apply systems to teaching everybody else how they can have success in life. Let me start doing some more. I'm glad he texted that, because he wasn't saying it in a bad way. He just like, yeah, I know communication. I'm like, I said, it's because I think that at times. I'm like, he probably think that I'm mad, upset. It was times he was in the house, and I used to be like, come on, man, you gotta get out of the damn house. You can't be in here. So it could be a carryover to him thinking that now he off on his own, that I still may be thinking some type of way, but I'm not. And I told him, I said, listen, I love you, bro. I'm not even thinking anything, but it don't stop the fact that how he may think that I'm thinking. And
Right.
so I'm like, let me just start making sure that I start having more communication. So whether it's communication, just one-on-one communication, or starting the foundation of, I know you guys see me doing what I'm doing, but let's have a deeper conversation about what I do and where you are, what you want to do. How I'm saying, how what are you doing? Because he got kids too. What are you doing that we can pass on a conversation and not just wait for the teachers to do stuff and to say you could be all you want to be. Like we always say, what about you, Mom? That's something like you said before. What about you, Dad? Oh, no, my time passed. But you can be all you want to be. Nah, my time ain't passed. I got to
Mm-hmm.
see what systems can I apply that I start having these conversations about the money the right way, not just checkbook stuff, but deeper level of stuff. Because I don't know a bunch of stuff. I don't know a lot of stuff. I'm quick to, I'm even with you. I'm like, Nikki, find out this for me. Find out, and let me know the gist. but you can't always know the gist. Sometimes you got to know what the hell is really going on in order for you to really have a deeper level of conversation. That's my take on it, stuff, man. So break down that from your personal perception of it, or from what I share with you, what may have made sense to you in that capacity that you want to bring some value to.
I mean, basically, what you're saying is, or what I was thinking myself, we don't talk about money. Like the conversations in our homes are limited when it comes to money. Okay. It's all about paying, making sure that the bills are paid. Okay. Making sure that you get a job, that you can support yourself, you can pay your bills on time, and that's pretty much it. Okay. When it comes to the financial part of it,
Right.
even for myself, or even with me growing up, my mother was okay, my father was okay, even though we were in separate homes. My dad worked for the factory, my mother was a school teacher, and both of those were considered, good jobs. Okay. So when my mother talked to me about money, it was just basically go to school, get a good job, like every other, pretty much most households, that's what it is. Go to school, get a good job. That's it. Learn how to balance the checkbook. I would help my mother balance her checkbook and things like that. So learn how to pay bills on time and all those different things. But when it came to, economic freedom, that was not taught in the home. And it's because that didn't happen. Right. It was something that was not happening in the home. So I guess nobody was talking about it because nobody really was experiencing it or even believed that they could have that. Right. Now with my dad, um, and about my dad, but he was a little different. I mean, he worked for the factory, but at one particular time, he owned a lot of real estate here. When I was, younger, like he had over like 20 rental properties. Okay. But even him not really understanding financial freedom, he just became a landlord of 20 different tenants. Okay. And it became too much. So he didn't know how to manage all these things that he had, all these homes that he had. Right. We could have definitely, if I'd known what I know now, at the time that he had 20 homes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
things could have been different. Okay. Things would have been a lot different. Like we really could have been set for generations and generations and generations to come. Right. So it's having the right conversations in the homes with our children, with our family. Like you said, it starts in house. And even for me, now that I'm in a different space in my life, I noticed that with my children, my conversations are a little bit different now. My children are grown, of course. My daughter is 21, my son is 28. So the conversations are a little bit different. I'm talking to, my kids about things like, you square, you got to get this book. Okay. Or we're talking about how they can become, financially free, things that they can do. Even, with my son, he's the oldest. I'm always in his ear about, finances. I'm always in his ear about entrepreneurship. I'm always in his ear about business. I'm always in, my daughter's ear about business, how you can do this, how you can market this, how you can, make money online. So the conversations are definitely different than they were 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I'm like, what you gonna do? You going to school? What you doing? You know what I'm saying?
I was
So,
conversation for myself. I didn't really when it came to school. I didn't even when you talk about that. We was. I remember when my sister was like she going to college. My sister's like 7 years younger. I went to the military by the time I'm going to
mhm,
college. I'm like, I didn't even think about college. I said I wasn't even a conversation.
mhm.
My mother may have said something, but she wasn't from that, so she wasn't really pressing that or something. You know what I'm saying? Guidance counselor may have said something, but I can't even remember having a conversation where it was really a thought for me to do it.
Yeah.
So
Now for me, it was different.
conversations and stuff, huh?
Yeah, my mother was an educator. So school was always brought up in our household. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to go to school. You got to get a degree so you can get a good job. And so, I'm like the black sheep of the family. I'm like, ain't nobody going to no doggone school. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to go to college. I want to do, at the time, when I was coming out of high school, I wanted to go to performing arts school. And my mother was like, ain't no money in dancing. You can't make no money as a dancer, you know. But that was around the time where things were shifting with, hip hop, and you had, music videos and choreographers and all these different things. But she was blind to the arts. Okay. And I'm not going to say blind to the arts, but when it came to performing arts,
Blind to the ways of mankind.
right. I'm not gonna say arts because she was into art a certain type of way, but when it came to performing arts, when she in her era, if you were a performer, you were a dancer, you was basically broke going from city to city dancing. Okay. So she's like, no, you're not gonna do that, right? But that's something that I wanted to do. So I bucked the system. I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to be free. I wanted to be, an artist. I just, but I went to college just to appease my mother, right? Flunked out in the first year.
Right,
I think it was the first 6 months. I was done.
right. But during that time, was hip hop prevalent in your life at that time? Like, because I know back in the day you used to be dancing, right? And like you
hmm
hip hop dancer. So was that
hmm
high school? Or was that like younger than that?
Well, let's set the record straight, okay? I was not just a hip hop dancer, okay? So let me just be clear. I was just not a hip hop dancer. Like I was technically trained in modern dance, okay? So I had the foundation, ballet, modern dance, all those things, right? So when the 80s came around, early 80s, like maybe about 85, maybe about 85 is when hip hop really started hitting in Detroit, right? Or maybe 84. It might have been before that. Actually, it was before that, okay? If you think about it, with Sugar Hill Gang and all that, right? That was like late 70s,
70s.
right? Right. So, but when I think about when it had an impact on me, it was like by the time that uh Run DMC came around, and all these different artists, Fat Boys and all that stuff, right? So that was like in the mid 80s.
Okay.
So that's when, yeah.
It wasn't by the time you was going to school though. So we're going to college. That's the point I was trying to ask.
No.
So by the time you got to college, you already passed the hip hop phase. Reason why I asked that because you're not
Yeah.
influential to a person because even though you may have been classically trained. How this is how I see things. Classically trained, the influence, like everything else, can have you going
Yes.
where you ain't paying attention. You now you ain't thinking about it the same way, even though you were classically trained hip hop. That's why I was asking, going into that space, were you still into that to that space of hip hop?
Well, for me, it was all tied into one. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I wanted to go to performing arts school. But I said hip hop because, when my mother was like, there's no money in dancing, I'm trying to explain to her it's not just getting with a company and you're traveling, even though they made good money as well. But I was trying to explain to her, like with hip hop coming around, you have people that are getting paid to, choreograph
Video,
different artists.
mhm.
Right. So yeah, I'm trying to explain to her how dance has evolved and how there's money in performing arts, like how you can do it. And she's like, nah, ain't no money in that. You're going to take your butt to school. So, and when I wanted to go to the performing arts school, she was like, no, I'm not. Mm-mm. She's like,
Right, right.
absolutely not. Yeah. But that was always, a conversation in our home. Like, both my sisters, they both went to college, graduated from college. Now, my brother was a little different because, my brother had mental health issues. So of course he didn't really go to school, even though he finished high school. Okay. She made sure that he did that, but there was no college for him. But my sisters, oh yeah, they both went on that path. And like I said, I was the black sheep. So, my conversations and my way of life have always been different. I've always been more to explore. I've always been more want to find out certain things. I've never really been that traditional person.
Got you. Understood.
Hmm
So, okay. Well, I'm thinking it'd be great if we can have, like I want to better have like an interview with somebody because again, there's so many different areas of finances, but let's find somebody who can. I want to better start at the basics because it got to be a
hmm
basic place of where Like, how should the conversation start? What should be areas? Because again, we can talk about a bunch of stuff when it comes to that, but like, where does it start? When you talk, do you talk about the kids just for after balancing the checkbook? What is it when it comes to money? What do you talk to them about? You talking about IRAs? You talking about 401ks? What do you talk about so that they can understand where these things fit at? Because there's so many areas. Because when you hear about all these other things, you be like, I don't even know where to start. So you don't even want to even just begin because you like outside of because I was good at balancing check. I'm teaching people
Mm-hmm.
that. People still this day be like, I remember you sat back, you taught me how to balance my checkbook because I was good
Mm-hmm.
at that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That was the basic stuff. Just making sure I wasn't never out of, always had enough, want to always see
Mm-hmm.
left over, in the bank and things like that. But outside of that, where? So I do want to have conversations about that. So we talk about the road to 1 million, because again, that whether it's $1 million or a million, anything, that still has to be something in your mindset because numbers is always going to a million is numbers and numbers are going to always play a part. And whatever you're
Absolutely.
looking to do to inspire, make money, build a business, build stuff is going to be money and more money that can start coming into play. So
Mm-hmm.
what do you do with that? Who do you talk to first? What areas do you talk to? Because I can talk. I remember talking to one guy. I can't remember if he was a financial advisor or
Mm-hmm.
planner. But when I was talking, he was asking me a question about something. I was like, "Well, I talked to." I said, "I talked to my I talked to my attorney about. I said, no, my CPA about. Well, you don't talk to CPA because they don't do this. What you need is somebody." But I'm like, "Are you saying that because that's real? Or are you saying that because that's your profession? So you just
Right.
your profession is a this. So you got better insight than somebody over here. I,
Right.
I mean, I'm saying so.
Right.
Where do people start at? Where can be the conversation point? You better start having the right conversation so that we can start with the kids at a younger age having the right conversation. Because again, it starts in the house, and if you don't even know where the hell it starts at, you're going to look for somebody else to get it outside someplace and be like, go to college and learn it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can be all you want to be and stuff, man. But by the time we get it, unless we're trying to apply it to something, most people they only want to learn it because where am I going to apply it to? If I don't got no money, what the hell am I going to apply all these money making ideas for? Where am I?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how to make my damn bills hum from week to week. What the hell are you talking about IRAs and savings and all this? My savings account been on zero for this many years, and I don't got nothing in savings. My checking account goes to zero and negative. Matter of fact, I remember I was at the bank recently. I heard this guy. He was trying to cash a check or something, and
Mm-hmm.
he was like, I guess they were saying that it was you know how it was overdrawn or something. And he was like,
Mm-hmm.
so well, if you take it, we're gonna put it over here, and it's gonna take. It's like, oh, so what if I do this right here? And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, damn. I said, we everybody adults. It wasn't like a little kid, it was like an adult. So you
Mm-hmm.
gotta figure out what the hell happened to his money. How can he still cash a check? What's gonna happen? Because again, when not what am I gonna say? Hey, bro, we need to have a conversation about IRAs, and I'm trying to figure out how the hell
How I'm gonna get this? Yeah.
not to let my damn $200. I only got a check for 400 or 500. They want to take 200 because they was like, yeah, it's like 300 something over. He was like, you know what? Let me
Give
get.
me that back. Right. Give me that check back. I'm gonna go down to the check cashing place where they charge 12%.
And I
Okay. Y'all gonna give me my money. Mm-mm.
and I get it. So listen, where did the conversation start? Because you ain't trying to hear no conversation at that point, and that's where
Mm-mm.
people are in their space. Nobody ain't trying to hear that conversation when they trying to figure out how the hell. You know what I'm saying? That's what most people be. That's what they've been at. That's what they've been existing at. So yeah, so it'd be a good conversation topic to have to see
Mm-hmm.
starting the house. What should be conversation? What and again, I mean, so should we got to decide whether or not we want to talk to somebody who may be dealing with money and kids,
Family.
money and youth, money and wisdom, because again, you can talk about the family, but where do you start at? Because I feel if it's let's say they talk about money and kids and money and youth, you got to teach something basic that most of us or most people are still in a basic youthful mindset of money
Mm-hmm.
themselves. We're adults, but if you haven't even learned it yourself, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You still gonna be you just start introducing something at a high level. So where does it start off? Because by teaching, learning what to teach your children is also teaching you.
Right. And that's what I'm thinking and maybe there is some type of family financial expert or something. All we got to do is Google, and I'm sure something to come up or lead us down the rabbit hole to for us to find what we need. But I'm sure there's people out there, family financial advisors. I'm sure it is. It has to be.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm super excited about this podcast. It was a great podcast that we had today. So, guys, listen. If you have type like just comment below what your thoughts are, what you think should be, or if you know someone who will be a good interviewer, a person that could be a good interviewing, or what based off of your experiences, what have you done? What have you been able? What your experience with money and your family and things like that, so we can kind of just let's start the
Have
conversation
some
below.
conversation.
Start the conversation
Hmm.
below or something, man. And we look forward to having someone on the next podcast or one of our future podcasts where we can actually go have a deeper dive and start this process. Because the road to 1 million, what I'm saying, it starts with the individual. What I'm saying? Not just
Absolutely.
the thought, it starts with the individual. So being well rounded in your thoughts of where to start at in your
Hmm.
1 million, because is gonna tally back to how much can I make for that when I'm in that space of inspiring or making money or whatever and stuff. So, young lady, it's been a pleasure to
Absolutely.
talk to you today. Thank you so much for sharing as always, your thoughts, your wisdom, your insights, and your stories on this road to 1 million.
My absolute pleasure. And you have an awesome and amazing and fantabulous day, Mr. Jason L. Scott
You
the
too,
first.
Alexandria. Good day, young lady. Bye now.